Hi everybody, I'm here today with Clint Swindall, author and CEO and president of Verbalocity, to talk to you about motivation. Clint, thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
Now, you're obviously a motivational speaker, so I think this topic suits you very well. So what is the importance from a job seeker perspective of really staying motivated and keeping a positive attitude?
You know, I think it's the key to it all. I think we can have skills. We can take skills from every job we have. We can accumulate them in our little bucket. We can go to an employer and say, look what great skills I have. But at the end of the day, what really matters is our ability to be able to inspire ourselves every single day when we get out of bed. It really doesn't matter. We can be the best widget maker in the world, but if we don't want to get out of bed in the morning and go do that, it is absolutely critical. And quite often employers will look for the details of your past. They'll look at what skill sets you bring to the table. They'll look at what jobs you've had. But when it comes to an interview, when it comes to truly being able to contribute as an employee, perhaps one of the most significant things we can possess is the ability to provide our own motivation.
Absolutely. Now, Clint, if I'm somebody who maybe isn't currently employed but am seeking employment, how does motivation come into play there, and why would you say it's important in a job search?
Well, I think it's incredibly important in the job search because now that motivation affects you even more than it does the organization. Obviously, when you have a job, your boss wants you to be motivated to go out and do a good job, but this is really about personal motivation. When you don't have a job, you have to find ways to encourage yourself. Again, you can have the best lists of places to look. You can go to jobbing.com. You can find wonderful opportunities, but if you're not motivated to want to get out of bed every day and go do that, it's incredible. And I think a lot of times that motivation comes from doing something that we're passionate about. Too often we just go out and look for a job based on what someone else has told us we need to do. And it's hard to get inspired to want to do that. It's hard to inspire ourselves to jump up and go on an interview or to contribute to an organization where we really don't want to be. That's why it's so incredibly important that people find something that they truly have a passion for. I have a friend that was recently looking for a job, and he was looking for a job in the same industry that he had come from, and he said, you know, quite frankly, I don't really like this industry, but this is what I know, and so this is what I'm going to go do. And my comment to him was, go back and really look at your personal life and look at what causes you to bounce out of bed every day. What do you do in your free time? How do you spend your own personal time? And what kind of job could you find in that industry doing something that you love to do? Because not only will you be an inspired employee once you're there, you'll be inspired to conduct that job search the entire time.
Great advice. Now, if I'm someone who's going out in the job search, and oftentimes it doesn't happen immediately, and with all of the news going on about a downturning economy, etc., you can get a lot of things sort of weighing on your shoulders. What tips do you have for staying motivated even when, say, you don't get that call back and you don't get that job you really wanted? What are some things that I can use to really make sure that I'm keeping my motivation strong?
Sure. I think one of the things we have to do is literally take an inventory of what happens throughout our day, to be able to say, here are the good things that happen, here are the challenging things, and that list of challenging things may be, I didn't get a call back, I didn't get the job offer I was hoping for, and it's very easy to just focus on those things. And when we focus on those negative things, it's very easy for us to become unmotivated. But I think it's literally a matter of making out a list from the very beginning. I got an email just this past week from a guy who was in my audience who said, I heard you a year ago, I came back and heard you again, and he said, one of the things that I took away from your program was the need to start the day on the right note. And he said, I literally would wake up in the morning before my family did, and I would wake up with a cup of coffee and I would make out a list of the top 10 things I was most appreciative of. And he said any challenge I faced throughout the day was easy to get past when I actually took the time to make out that list. And he said probably for the first 2 months I had to actually sit down and write out that list. He said, now I don't have to write out that list. It's a part of who I am. I already think that way now. And so I think it's just incredible for us to not just look at what's not working, but to look at what is working and to actually make a list of that every single day.
Excellent advice. Now, Clint, if somebody wanted more information or possibly to contact you, where could they go?
Sure, they can go to the website at www.verbalocity.com. They can email me directly at clint@verbalocity.com, or they can call our toll-free number at 877-VERBALOCITY.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
You bet.